Wow, what's going on, you AH soldiers? It's your boy Six here, and today I am going to be reacting to, let's see, top 10 shocking facts about 9/11. So, yeah, let's get to that. I'm going to put my volume up because I lowered it before. There we go. Alright, let's do it. Enjoy.
Hello guys, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. My name is Danny Berg and today is the 15th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks in America in which almost 3,000 people lost their lives. Now some of you might have been too young to remember that, some of you might not even have been born yet, and some of you might be very familiar with the events of that day where terrorists coordinated attacks on the World Trade Center buildings in New York and the Pentagon building in Washington DC. Now there's a very good chance that you guys are going to be seeing a lot about it on TV or online today. It was a huge event that shaped the world in many ways. So without further ado, here are the top 10 shocking facts about 9/11. Starting off at number 10, 1,115 victims of the attacks are still unaccounted for and their remains have never been identified. Forensic teams have worked tirelessly over the years to examine the 9,000 fragments of human remains. And despite this, about 37% of 9/11 victims have never been positively identified. So that has still not disheartened the forensic team, who still continue to find and examine new human remains that are being found every single year in the hopes of giving some closure to the victims' families. At number 9, the hijackers used a secret code to communicate in the weeks leading up to the attack. They used an internet chat room where one of them sent this coded love note to his so-called German girlfriend. It said, "The first semester commences in 3 weeks. 2 high schools and 2 universities. This summer will surely be hot. 19 certificates for private education and 4 exams. Regards to the professor, goodbye." Now the high schools there were a reference to the 2 Twin Towers. The universities were the 2 Washington DC targets. The 19 certificates meant the 19 hijackers, and the 4 exams were the number of planes they used. Moving on to number 8, there were 4 planes that were hijacked that day. Now 2 of them hit the Twin Towers, 1 of them hit the Pentagon, but the 4th crashed in Pennsylvania. Now it's thought that its target was going to be the White House or the Capitol building, but it was brought down when the passengers on board, who had already heard through phone calls about the New York attack, decided to fight back. The terrorists then deliberately crashed a plane into a Pennsylvanian field rather than give control to them. Next up at number 7, by the time the second plane hit the South Tower in New York, there were hundreds of cameras that caught it live, with millions of people watching around the world. But as for the first plane, nobody was expecting it to happen, obviously, so there was only 1 piece of live footage taken. It was taken by filmmakers Jules and Gedawon Nordet, who were making a documentary about New York firefighters. They were responding to reports of a gas leak when they heard the first plane go overhead. Jules instinctively turned his camera and caught history. Coming in number 6 now. After tragedy strikes, people tend to turn to something for comfort, and some statistics reflect what people in New York seem to choose. In the week after 9/11, Manhattan saw a 25% increase in alcohol consumption on the year before, and also a 10% rise in tobacco consumption, and local churches and synagogues saw a 20% increase in attendance. Moving on to number 5, the effects of 9/11 continue to affect people's health and even kill to this day. An estimated 410,000 people were exposed to a toxic cloud of asbestos on that day. In 2015, there were over 70,000 people enrolled in the 9/11 health program, with 21,000 being conditions caused by inhaling that toxic air. Now it's thought that all the cases of lung cancer that have started happening won't even peak until 2041, a full 40 years after the event. Next up at number 4, the search and rescue team used sniffer dogs to try and find people trapped in the rubble of the towers when they collapsed. But after all the searching, just 18 people were rescued alive. In fact, the dogs found so few living people that they began to get upset and stressed because they thought they were failing at their job. So to counter this, from time to time, the handlers would actually get people to hide in the rubble so the dogs would find them and their spirits would be kept up in the search for real survivors. Moving on to number 3, it took 100 days for the firefighters to put out the fires at Ground It was still burning all the way up to the 20th of December 2001. Now it's thought they kept burning because of the tons and tons of flammable office equipment that sat in the rubble, and actually it needed a constant jet of water sprayed on it to eventually put the fire out. The New York Fire Department considered it an active fire scene that whole time and kept the fire truck on standby every single day. At number 2 now, the financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald was based in the Twin Towers, and they lost an astonishing 658 of their employees that day, the most of any company. That number actually made up 2/3 of their entire workforce. Chairman Howard Lutnick could have closed the company right there and then, but he said to his employees, "We can either shut the firm and go to 20 funerals in 35 days in a row, or work harder than we ever have for the families." The company ends up giving the victims' families $180 million over the next 5 years. And finally, number 1, we have the miracle of Stairwell B. When the North Tower collapsed, the last few steps of one staircase in the middle of the building, called Stairwell B, somehow remained intact, the only piece of the building left standing. Incredibly, 16 people, including firefighters and civilians, happened to be on that staircase when the building collapsed, and they all survived. Now, if they were any higher on the staircase or had already left at that point, they would probably have not survived. Now, somehow the concrete walls survived the force of 110 stories crashing down upon them. Many of the survivors went to years of counseling after this event to deal with survivors' guilt, and I find it difficult to understand the fact that they had survived when so many others didn't. Well, guys, I do hope you learned something there, found it interesting, or just gave you something to think about on this day. Our thoughts here at Most Amazing Top 10 go out to anyone who has been affected by this or by any disaster like this. My name is Danny Burke. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.
That was amazing. Like, what a noise, by the way. Did you hear that? Anyway, that's crazy. But there you go. That was top 10 shocking facts about 9/11. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more reaction videos, more challenges, more vlogs, more reviews maybe. And stay tuned, and like always, stay fabulous.